going on, guys? I'm out here actually getting some pest removal testing out, working with the boss. And I'm going to talk about something really quickly here that's not only bugging me, but it's a big problem we're having here throughout the valley here in Arizona, but I think it's a little bit nationwide as far as these air rifles. So I got a 30 caliber air rifle out here, and I'm on a really good sized farm, and I'm at least half a mile plus to any houses or anything of the sort. So I've got more than enough room to shoot this accordingly. Of course, the neat thing is I'm only shooting at 80 yards, to be honest. So I don't have enough time on this rifle, and to me it's smarter to get more rifle time on this, as I call it, leash time, and that way I'm more efficient with the gun, and when it comes time to really do the job that I need to do with this aspect of this gun, I feel more ethical about taking those shots. So I'm shooting Eurasian doves today at 80 yards out, somewhere in that range as far as it goes. What I really want to speak about today, though, is that we're having this huge problem, and it's a problem that's going to shut this sport down really quickly. I'm pretty sure all of us don't want the federal government running their heads into everything that we do, but when it comes to rifles in general, it doesn't matter what it is, they want to be involved. The nice thing about air rifles or air pistols or anything like that, any pneumatic type shooting system, is that nothing for nothing, they're kind of kept their nose out of it. But what's going on here and around the state, outside the state, of people getting hit, equipment getting hit, just the lack of professionalism as far as talking to the owners to say, see if we can get on the property. I've got permission on every piece of property I go on, and we usually 90% of the time check in with either the owner or the hired hand. Let them know, hey, we're going to be shooting, and this is where we're going to be shooting. It's that simple, A lot of people are not doing that, and it's causing a huge issue. Now, some of you guys don't hunt, you don't plank, or you plank and so forth. I don't consider myself a hunter when I do this kind of work, because it's pretty much like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, they're here, they're within 80 yards. That's pretty much easy work in my way of thinking. But this is partly how me and my partner, who's out there doing his job, make our money. This is not my full-time job, don't get me wrong. This is something we enjoy doing it, but we found a little niche that we feel really, really well, and we do very well at it. The whole safety thing of people shooting other people, I'm sorry. I know I use a 25 caliber as a normal staple. That's my go-to gun to be able to shoot a lot of stuff. Does not mean that everybody should be using a 25 caliber. We started off with a smaller caliber and worked our way up. I'm seeing people that are going in these stores and buying 25 caliber, 30 caliber, and they're shooting on a farm in areas where you should not be shooting them. It's that simple. These are not shotguns. These have a longer range. So all I have to say is, if you see anybody doing some stupid stuff like that, just do the right thing and make sure you put it right in their face and say, hey, one, are you allowed to be here? And two, what the fuck are you doing? Excuse my language, but I think we're all adults here and we can actually use that kind of dumb language. So it's bugging me, it's bugging my partner Jim, and and my other shooting partner Ben. It's a conflict, and it's scary because I've been doing this almost 5 years, and I remember when I never saw anybody with a pneumatic rifle out here. Now we go on some of these dairies, we pull in and we turn around because we're like, I'm not going to get shot for no one. Because if I get shot, I'm shooting back. That's just who I am, So it is what it is. So we need to find out why this issue is going on. I know why it's going on, but we need to prevent these morons that are actually taking these advantage of our sport and making it into a bad sport, bad name for it. Like I said, I'm not bringing a 30 caliber rifle and shooting it inside the paddocks, as far as that goes. It's just, it's not the right thing to do. Even if it is, you know, don't get me wrong, I've done it before, don't get me wrong. It was an empty paddock, but still, it's just not the right thing to do. And I know better than that, so I don't, you know, do it, you know. In the first time you've done it, you're like, oh, wow, that's a lot more power than I thought, you know, and then you curb your habits. It's the people with the really bad behavior that are doing this kind of behavior that are just pushing it because they know they can get away with it, you know. So us as being the stewards of, you know, this type of sport, being on people's property, we really got to watch this and really curb this habit, because it's a bad habit. And so far, people are getting hurt. It's just a matter of time somebody gets killed. And you know, it's not the same thing as a kid taking his father's rifle and shoots himself with it on accident. That's a whole different story. I'm talking about going on a piece of people's property, shooting without having permission, or even having permission, and just not being smart about what you're doing. You know, and somebody's going to get shot and hurt for good. You know, somebody will get hit and killed from it. So all I'm saying is keep your eye out, keep your ears out as far as that goes. You know, it's really bugging me, because, you know, it's getting to the point where, you know, I can't go on any certain farms anymore because of somebody else's back ass problems with not being able to follow the rules and just abiding by what the sport allows you to do and what you don't do. We know what's right and what's wrong, you know, as far as that goes. So the funny thing is, like my wife says, you know, we're all adults, and I say, no, we're not fucking all adults. You know, that's a problem, is that, you know, I'm an adult in a kid, you know, I'm a kid in an adult's body, but I know when to go, oh, that's not, you know, I'm gonna get my ass spanked for that, you know, that kind of thing. So, and like I tell everybody, I'm never, ever serious, ever. The only time I'm serious is when I'm shooting or I'm sleeping. Otherwise, I'm never serious. I'm always joking, have a great time. But if it's gonna cost somebody getting hurt because of my actions or something like that, that's a whole different ballgame. That's no longer fun and games, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there. It's one of those things where, like I said, we all have to pay attention to it and so forth. I don't shoot in my backyard. I don't. I just don't think it's a smart thing. Where I used to live in more of a southern portion of the state, yeah, we had bigger backyards. You're allowed to do it and blah blah blah, you know. So I did it there, but not 30 caliber. Don't get me wrong, but still, you know. But I live, you know, more of a metropolitan area where, you know, it's just not smart for me to shoot in my backyard. I don't want to take the risk. I got kids next door. I got all this stuff. It's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So some places you can get away with it, as far as, yes, it's a good thing. You know, you have no neighbors or whatever. But, you know, once again, we really got to rethink what we're doing here. I think a lot of farmers, it's not their fault. It's just a misunderstanding and their lack of education is that they think that when they hear air rifle, they just think of, oh, geez, it's not going to be that powerful. Well, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of these air rifles are very powerful, you know what I'm saying? At close distance, it's very close or equal to some of the 22s and so forth, you know, from a powder burning gun. So you got to be really careful, you know, really, really careful. I know people out here that have 25s calibers are pushing close to, you know, 95 foot-pounds, you know. Why? I don't get it, you know what I'm saying? 50 foot-pounds is more than enough. It's actually overkill, you know what I'm saying? So I'm partly guilty to this and so forth, because I do use a very powerful gun, but the sad part is I know how to shoot. I mean, you know, so, but any which way, that's all I want to talk about. So, you know, be safe and catch you down on the other end of the field. All right, bye.